Hello beautiful people, you're welcome to this channel and I'm Gift God's Time by name. And if this is your first time stopping by, you are welcome to this family. And to all my returning subscribers, I want to say a very big thank you for your support. On this tutorial, I'll be teaching you how to achieve this trendy bubu cut together with an ashoke, which is the one you're seeing in front, with a slit and also an inbuilt pocket. This outfit can be achieved by anyone, even a beginner. There are no complicated steps involved. Kindly stay tuned as the video progresses. And also, if you are yet to subscribe to this channel, please do. And also, do not forget to give this video a thumbs up. For this project, I'll be using this beautiful damask fabric. It is 3 yards. And then next, I'll be using this ashoke, which comes in row. I'll be using 2 rows for it. So this is how it looks like. It is handmade. So next, I'm going to be drafting my pattern. And now I'll be drafting this pattern on a paper because I actually drafted on my main fabric, but it's not going to be clear. So that's why I had to do an illustration, a mini illustration for you guys. So first of all, I'm drawing the starting line. Next, I'll be taking the neck width, which I'll be using 3 inches in width and 1 inch in depth. This pattern I'm drafting is for that of the back. So I'm only doing the back pattern. With this back pattern, I will show you how to get the front parts. So I'm going to connect those 2 points using a U-shaped neckline, as you can see from the video. Next, I'm going to be taking how long I want the sleeve to be. So you measure from that edge and take your measurements. Now, because this is a mini illustration, so whatever figure you are seeing there is not the actual figure. You have to take your measurements on your body or on your client's body and get the right figure. So how do you take the measurement? From the nape of your neck, you extend your tape to where you want your sleeve to be. That is how you place your measurements. For mine, I use 16 inches. That is the outfit you're seeing on the thumbnail. But on this pattern, it's not up to 16 inches. And that's why I had to explain it. So next, I'm going to be taking how deep I want the armhole to be. And I'll be using 10 inches because it ought to be free. It's a free dress. It's not a fitted dress. So after getting your armhole calculation, you add extra 3 to 4 inches. So I'm using 10 inches for mine. But on this pattern, like I said earlier, I'm not using the actual figure because this is a mini illustration. What I used on the main fabric is 10 inches, but I'm not using up to that amount on this pattern. So next I'll be taking from my shoulder to my bust region to the hip to the waist, to the waist first and then next the hip. Now I'll be using the largest circumference of my body, which is my hip. I'm going to be taking, my hip measurement is 40. I'm going to be taking 40 divided by 4, which is 10 inches. And I'm going to be adding extra 3.5 inches for my own work, meaning I'll be using 13.5 inches. You can add as much as 4 or 5 inches depending on how big you want it to be. So that is the measurement I'll be using for the bust, for the waist, and that of the hip, the same measurements. Now on this pattern paper, it's not up to 13.5 inches. I'm still emphasizing on it's a mini illustration. This is not the actual figure. I drafted the real thing on my fabric and it was not clear. So that's why I'm doing it on a pattern paper. So what I'm taking next is the waist region. That is the bust. So now is the waist. So all will be 13.5 inches my bust will be 13.5, my waist will be 13.5, and my hip will be 13.5 inches. Like I said earlier, you take your largest circumference of your body. For mine is the hip. You divide that figure by 4, then add your allowance to it as much as you want it to be. So I use 3.5 inches extra. Then connect it with a straight rule from the bust to the hip region. So next you're going to be connecting, joining both the sleeve and the line we just drew. What I'm doing over there, I'm just forming an arc that is for that of the armhole, extending to the sleeve part. Now I'm going to extend this line to where I want it to be for me, the full length. So I'm still using 13.5 inches as well to the full length. So this is how your pattern should look like on your fabric, and this is how to draft a bubu pattern. Now I'll be showing you how to achieve a cut together pocket. So from the waist region, we're going to form the pocket and extend it all the way to the hip region. So what you're going to do, it's a freehand pattern. You're going to curve it from the waist region, as you can see me doing from the video, and then from the hip you're going to extend it downwards and connect the two curve. So at the end you're going to place your hands inside to see if it fits perfectly. If it doesn't, then make your pockets bigger. So that is it. So this is how your pattern should look like on your main fabric. Now I'll proceed to cut it out. Now while cutting it out, I'm not going to cut off the pocket. I'm going to include the pockets in. That's what I'm doing. So this is how to go about when cutting yours. So this is it after cutting it out. Now I'm going to tilt it properly for you to see it. So I'm going to cut exactly like this on my fabric. This is for the back, and this part is on fold. The back part doesn't have any opening, so it's on fold when you're going to cut yours. So I'm going to show it to you after I've cut mine on my fabric. So this is it. And I did cut it twice. I cut for the front as well. So this is it when it's open up. I'm going to be showing you how to calculate how deep you want the neckline to be. This measurement is very important. So what you're going to do, you're going to be taking either yourself or your client. So from the nape of the neck, that midpoint. So what you're going to do, you're going to take your tape, place it on that point, and place the tape where you want it to be. As you can see me doing, you're going to slant your tape like that. The reason being that that is how the other fabric you're going to be placing will form. So that is why I slanted my tape that way. Or next, you can take the whole tape round your neck region, as you can see me doing, and find a suitable point where you want it to be. If you don't want it to be revealing that much, or if you want it more exposed, whatever choice is all yours. So that is how to take that measurement. So now back to the fabric. So what I'm going to be using is, what I measured was 12 inches, but I'm going to be marking 11 inches just to be on the safe side. So from that my shoulder points, I'm going to mark 11 inches, as you can see me doing. So this is it. This is why I didn't use my fabric to video at first. As you can see, it's very faint. Next, I'm going to be marking 2 inches from that 11 inches point. I'm going to be marking 2 inches all the way down. I'm going to be cutting it off because I'm inserting another fabric into it. So I'm going to cut this part off 2 inches all the way down. I don't need it. Now by the time I get to my 11 inches point, I'm just going to extend it to my shoulder region. So that is what I'm doing. So now for the front piece, we have two parts. I'm going to show it to you. This is what I mean. So next, what I'm going to be doing, I'm going to be joining, this is the back piece, I'm going to be joining it with the front piece at the shoulder part. So I'm taking right side facing right side, and I'm going to join them only at the shoulder region. That is what I'll be doing. I'll be doing the same thing as well for the other part of the shoulder. So after doing that, this is what we have. This is it. I've joined the two shoulder together. Next, I'm going to fold it into two just to get the midpoint of that back itself. So by the time I get the midpoint, I'm going to notch it. Next, what I'm going to do, I'm going to use my tape to calculate from that point all the way down. I'm going to take the measurement. Whatever value I have, it's very needed in order to cut the other fabric we'll be adding to it. So what I'll be doing, I'll be notching at each point. Now this 11 inches, that is the neck region. I'll go ahead to notch it. This part is not necessary, but I just want to do it so that by the time I'm joining them together, it gives me that guide. So that's what I'm doing. Next, I'm going to start from that midpoint, which I notch as well, and I'm going to take it to the part whereby I want the slit to start, where I want the slit to start from. So that is a little bit below my nail region. So I'll go ahead to notch that part as well. Then take the full length of one part of the fabric, starting from that midpoint we notch at the neck region. So whatever value I get, so this is 60, I'm also 60 plus, there's still some inches, so I'm going to measure it, and what I got is 1 inch, so that is 61 inches. So that's 61 inches times 2, because it's 2 parts, so I'll be having 122. So now I'm going to take my ashoke. This is it. This is one single layer. I'm going to measure it so to know if I have up to 61 inches. But yes, this is 60 inches, and I'm going to have more than, I'm going to be using more than 61 just in case it's a bit longer while sewing. So you need that extra, you will cut it off at the end, or you can fold it in two as well. So now the width is 6 inches, which is needed. By the time we fold it into two, it will be 3 inches, and by the time you use half inch to sew on both sides, you arrive at the 2 inches you took earlier. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take 2 of this and sew at this point. So after sewing, this is it. So what next I'm going to do, I'm going to, from that part I sew, I'm going to measure my 11 inches. That is my neck region, and I'm going to mark it. This neck region is how much you want to reveal. So you are going to mark it. So that's, for me, I'm using 11 inches. Next, I'm going to measure again, starting from that point I sew to till the parts I want the slits to start from. So I'm going to mark that part as well. So we have 3 parts, I mean 2 parts we marked. The initial one was just the starting line so that you can see it. So now I'm going to take the midpoint, and I'm going to take it all the way, the midpoint all the way from where the slit is going to start from, that point all the way till that neck region. And this midpoint, I'll be sewing it. I'm going to be sewing all the way till that part, our neck region, that 11 inches. So I'm sewing this part while this other part will be open. So after sewing, this is how it is. So the beginning part is open, is not, I didn't sew it. So this is it. this is how you are now going to flip it over. So you are going to fold it into two and then flip it over. The video explains it much better, so just watch the video and you'll understand how to flip it over and how to arrange it. So this is how it's going to be like. This other part that is so is the part that will be covered. So this upper part is from your nape of your neck to how much you want to reveal. Then these other parts are all secured, they are all closed. Then the other part that will be open is where the slits will start from. I hope you understand this part. The video actually explains much better, and by the time you are practicing yours, you will understand it's much better. So this is what I'm going to be placing on my fabric. So now that midpoint which we join the two ashoke together, you're going to take that part which you sew, you're going to align it to that part of the fabric which we notched earlier. So the two midpoints touching each other. Next, you are going to be sewing, as you can see me also illustrating in the video. So by the time you go ahead to sew, you see at the end you arrive at that 2 inches that we took earlier from the fabric. So you're going to sew all the way. This is one part. I'm illustrating with one part of the fabric, one part of the front side now. So after you are done with this part, you are also going to do the same thing at the other part. So I'm just showing you that notch part of the neck region, so it's aligned, everything will align all together. So you're going to sew all the way down, and by the time you are done, this is how the outcome is going to be like. Very neat. It's neatly finished, and I'm going to be showing you how the inside will look like. So this is it. This is it when it's opened. Inside is neat. So this is the part we attach. At the end, you're going to interlock it. So this is it. This is the inside part of it. As you can see, it's very neat. So this is the outcome. So next, for the sleeve part, I just want to make it more fancy. I'm going to use that ashoke. I'm going to take the measurements of that sleeve region, and then the width I'm using will be 1.5 inches. So by the time I sew using 1/2 inch, what will be left will be 1 inch. So I'm going to sew all the way, as you can see me illustrating, and then flip it over. So I'm done sewing. This is how it looks like. Next, what I'm going to be doing, I'll do the same thing on the other parts as well. I'm going to fold it in, and then I'm going to sew this part, the side seam. So I'm going to arrange it properly, and then from the sleeve region, I'm going to sew the side seam, connecting all parts, including the pockets as well. So you're going to see how I will illustrate it in the video. So this is how it's going to be. This is how I'm going to sew it all the way, including the pockets. Do not exclude the pockets. So you're going to follow the curve of the pockets as well, all the way till you get to the down parts. So this is the outcome of the outfit, and this is how it looks like. And I'm going to be inserting my hands into the pocket for you to see. So this is it. This is one part of the pocket, and this is the other part of the pocket. What I'm going to be doing next is to add my cover buttons. That is just to add an extra accessory to it, to the dress. So I'm going to be placing it, and I'll be using 1 inch spacing for the next one. I'm going to be putting 5 cover buttons. For the buttons, I use my damask fabric to create it. So I've come to the end of this tutorial. Please do not forget to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you are yet to. See you in my next tutorial. Bye.